Welcome to the daily news from Marjayat TV. Daily meetings of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi. The Grand Shia Islamic jurist Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi holds in-person meetings with large numbers of people, including religious scholars, university figures, and social and cultural activists, as well as public groups of people on a daily basis. In these meetings, the attendees report on their activities, explain their views, and listen to the guidelines and advices of the Grand Jurist. Central Office of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi honors Day of Baqi. The Central Office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Holy Comb marks the 8th of Shawwal, the day that coincides with the demolition of the sacred shrines of the holy infallible Imams at the hands of the Wahhabi extremists. The ceremony was held at the presence of the Grand Jurist and a circle of great Shia Islamic scholars, seminary teachers, students of Islamic sciences, and the public groups of people. Sheikh Fazeli, the speaker and eulogist of the ceremony, clarified about the afflictions of the Prophet's household and offered condolences to the holy Imam of time, Imam Mahdi, may God hasten his reappearance. Imam Shirazi World Foundation message after liberation of Mosul. Imam Shirazi World Foundation congratulated the historic liberation of Mosul to the nation of Iraq, the families of the martyrs, and the brave Iraqi soldiers in a message. The foundation also invited all parties to take lessons from the past mistakes and stated, with the help of the Almighty God and the sacrifices of the Iraqi brave soldiers, today the nation of Iraq was victorious in the fierce battle against terrorism. In the past few years, large parts of Iraq and many towns and cities were overrun and occupied by terrorist forces, years in which large numbers of people lost their lives. The women were captivated, sold, and violated, and the history, civilization, and the legacies of Iraq in these occupied towns were leveled to the ground. This foundation continued, "We paid a high price for this victory, so we all should protect it at all costs." ISWF also added, "Those days of hardship should always be screened in our nation's memory so that we don't miss out any of its lessons. We should keep in mind that violence, extremism, and hostile manners should not be part of our political disagreements. These lessons should enable us to eradicate extremism and takfiri ideology and spread moderate means and pluralism in our country's political landscape." Further, Imam Shirazi World Foundation insisted, "We urgently demand the quick reconstruction of war-torn areas and the settlement of refugees in their homes and towns. We also demand the eradication of corruption in all its forms in order to destroy all possible gaps and apertures for the return of terrorists into the country." This foundation also highlighted the need for comprehensive and nationwide care programs for the families of the martyrs, the wounded, and the victims of terrorism, particularly the widows and orphans, and said, "These vulnerable groups of people are trusted to us by our martyrs, and it is the responsibility of the entire sectors of the society to help them." In the end of his message, ISWF mentioned, "To maintain the spirit of citizenship and affection, and to create a culture of coexistence within the framework of pluralism and diversity, and to oppose the culture of obstinacy and extremism, and to monopolize the truth, educational programs should be revised, because they give rise to the corrupt cultures that incite sectarianism and racism in society."